Harry, what am I reviewing today? Oh, it is Superman. Let's crack on with the Brainiac Trilogy. By the way, if my odd K's, my K sounds, like in Brainiac, if they fucking infuriate you, imagine how I feel having to listen back to every video. It drives us mad. Love this cover here, but it is a sore topic for me because I remember first time I read this story, I got my hopes up based on this cover that we would get the Terminator style Brainiac returning. Instead, in this Brainiac trilogy, Part 2's cover is devoted to Superman fighting Metallica, not Brainiac. This is by Roy Sternman and Jorge Perez. Jorge Perez doesn't last long on the Superman books, but he definitely makes a mark for me. He came on board during Superman's exile in space, which is sort of where my collection starts. That is the first really big story arc I have. Superman, he goes into space after evasion, and then he becomes a gladiator in Mongoloid's arena. Great stuff, but that is all stuff that happened a few issues ago. Here is an interesting insight into Metallica's creation from Metallica's point of view. He had been in a car crash and was badly damaged, and they remade him with a solid metal skeleton, and he has a power battery in place of his heart, which is made of kryptonite, which is Superman's weakness. I am not particularly into Metallica. He is a bit stock and a bit wooden. Probably could do some pun there by saying something else instead of wooden, and saying whatever I could say because he is made of metal. I think I said he was my least favourite Superman bad guy in another video, and I spoke out of turn. He's not, and he is not by a long shot. But Metallica always seems like the most generic of Superman's bad guys. Lenny Luthor, he stole his art, his kryptonite art, and he left Metallica for dead. But he was recovered by scientists, and now he wants revenge on Lenny Luthor, and so he has wound up teaming up with Brainiac, who also has it out for Lenny Luthor. They were both being held at his secret lab for tests, and Brainiac has staged a coup and taken mental control of everyone working there. Metallica is the only one who isn't being controlled, although he does begin to wonder if Brainiac is eventually just going to do the same thing with him. Put one of his mind control devices on him. And it is little bits like this, adding some realistic passing concern over something that, in the same situation, you would think. It's stuff like this that really helps Roy Sternman's character writing stand out. especially when it comes to villains. Meanwhile, Superman recaps all the stuff he has been doing in the other two Superman books. This was still in the day when they approached the three Superman titles as separate things. They were not expecting you to get all three. And so a story like this, the Brainiac Trilogy, is told entirely in Action and Comics. There are things that happen in between each part in the other books, but you can't just read these 3 issues and be fine. So we have Metallica and he robs a bank. It's probably to make up for all the revenue Napster stole from them. Trending topical satire there. Superman, he shows up to stop him, but that is what Metallica countered on. This was a diversion because there is a big army of Metallicas attacking Lenny Luthor's house. So it is Superman versus about 20 Terminators. That is a lot of Terminators. And who doesn't love seeing Superman punching holes through robots or knocking their block off? While that is happening, we have the more important storyline happening with Brainiac. Brainiac's body, or what was his body, is immobile. It is in a coma, but his mind is still active, and it is that which has been behind this takeover and stuff. But he obviously knows he needs to improve his current situation and either fix his body or get a new one. And this all feels, again, like they are teasing me. I want me pre-Christmas on Infinite Earths Brainiac again. I want spooky robot Brainiac with a big head. Not this flabby circus performer man with a terrible beard. And they mention how he has had the scientists that he controls look over schematics for Metallica's body, and then they sink Brainiac into a vat, and he doesn't become a Terminator robot. Brainiac, he learns all about Project Pegasus, and he is going to use their facilities and faculties to restore his body. Something I think I need to bring up is, and it's not that I just used facilities and faculties side by side, which might be something to tick off the bucket list. I have said before, I always anticipate responses to things that I say, and then I never get those responses. But one thing I said was Superboy in his 90s series was his own character with his own supporting cast and mythology. I thought one retort could be that he just took Project Pegasus from Superman, and I disagree with that. Project Pegasus were indeed a Superman thing, but they made much more sense to go to Superboy. It is his backstory after all. It's something that Superman isn't actually all that linked to. Before Superboy, their involvement in Superman stories was like this. It almost felt like a random aside, and they were never as constantly major a presence in Superman's book as they were in Superboy. This made sense as a thing to give Superboy. Basically, in a nutshell, my feelings about what John Jeffries did to Superboy is, before him, Superboy was a character. He was a Superboy character. He was a character in the book Superboy. He was a Superboy character. Making him a clone of Lenny Luthor is reducing him to being a Superman character. I love Project Pegasus though, and we get to see Gladiator, the Captain America ripoff, fight Metallica. Superman shows up to hell, and I would offer the complaint that Superman, in the first two parts of this trilogy, he's not really involved. He doesn't have any awareness what is going on, and he is only reacting to stuff that crops up. He has even got his own line of investigation with Lenny Luthor that could have been used to increase his influence in the plot, but it's sort of abandoned. He keeps flying into action that is happening and saves the day. Love this bit with Metallica, this little fight, but my favourite part of this story is not in this issue, and I was sure it was the ending. If it is in one of the other Superman books, I am really disappointed now. There was an ending to an issue where it is on a beach and Superman, he comes out of the sea. He crawls out of the sea after a fight. He got blown into the sea. And he is really angry. And he is like, Brainiac, you cannot escape me. I will chase you to the ends of the earth. This ends with Lenny Luthor discovering Brainiac has taken over his secret lab, which is nowhere near as amazing as the ending scene I remember. This was part 2 of a trilogy focusing on Brainiac, and it, in my opinion, was more like it belonged as part of a Metallica trilogy. It is great in a way, definitely worth reading this 3-parter. I have always felt a bit lukewarm on it, but it's still very good comic books. 7 thumbs up.